Hey, call me Shape, and today we're reacting to a video titled Why Nice Guys See Ex-Workers. Let's get right into it.
And then you think that you're going to make it up by doing other activities, and yeah, that works for a while, but then a woman does definitely get bored with that because she wants to be penetrated by you. The nice guy gets trapped in romances that have reverted to friendship. They try to convince themselves that it's enough, and it's not. Hello, and welcome to Sex, Love, and Soul. I'm Mary Knight, and I'm really glad you're here. So today I'm going to address something. Some of you may be wondering, how do I know so much about nice guys? Yeah, sure, I'm a relationship coach. I'm a dating coach. I have been for the past 15 years. I started as a relationship coach before I retired as a sex worker. If you haven't seen that in my About Me, I am a retired high-end escort, and I was also the madam of a really popular brothel in a big city in Texas. And most of the men who were clients, I would say like 98% of them, were nice guys. Yeah, shocker, right? These men thought that it was easier to just pay for companionship, pay for this intimacy, than to go out in the real world and continue to be eaten alive by women who were out there who were pretty much just after their money. Or just in general, just tired of being disappointed and not getting what they wanted. And so they knew that if they saw an escort, they would get what they wanted. No fuss, no muss. I'm not saying that that was right. I'm not condoning that kind of behavior, but I'm also certainly not sitting here judging it. And it's an interesting thing that when I started as a coach, I was coaching women who were married, who were concerned about their husbands cheating. And I actually wrote a best-selling book, it's available on Amazon, called How to Keep Your Man Out of My Bed. It's teaching women why men cheat and how to prevent it from happening to them in an empowered way. Because the reasons that men cheat are not what most people think. I started working for this escort service in Houston, and this was in the late 90s. She was like a mid-range madam, and then I learned, oh wow, I could be high-end, and so then I started working for another escort service in Houston that was a high-end escort service. And then I started having my own place, and then I became an international traveling companion. But I'm saying all this just to let you know my trajectory here of how this all went, was that I would learn that for many of these men, sex was just the excuse. Sex was the pretense for why they reached out. Now, of course, that was true of some men. Some men just really liked having sex.
They really craved that sexual variety, whether they were married or not. But most of the men were these really nice guys who were looking for someone to talk to. They were looking for companionship.
And that's where I really learned about orgasming and you know, for men and women. But, you know, for me, that's how I could actually have orgasms with my clients, was because I insisted that I stay in my own body. I wouldn't let myself float away. I would stay in the present moment. And the men could tell. And that's why I was popular and why I had so much repeat clientele, is because they really could feel that I was there with them. That's what I was teaching men to do, is to be in their body.
They were having this problem at home with a woman who had pulled away from them. And they did their old tried and true method of going right into their heads. So they were not in their bodies. But the thing was, this was not a head problem. This was not a problem that could be solved by thinking. The whole problem was caused because they were not in their bodies. And so this became really apparent to me pretty early on in my escorting career about men not being in their bodies, because I had become this pretty serious meditator. And on a regular basis, I was going to these 10-day silent meditation courses. And the meditation technique was called Vipassana. And I was real.
Okay, wow. This lady takes her job very seriously. Shouts to her. Great content so far. My takeaway from it is that men want more than just a hookup when they actually cheat on their wife or their spouses. I guess some men, I mean, she did say some men like variety, you know. I think it's going to be more men that want the variety, to be honest with you. But yeah, you know, if we like a girl, we're definitely down to engage with more than just a hookup, right? So, you know, cheating could be kind of a romantic affair as well for men because, you know, gee, you know, what's on your brain? We're trying to pick your brain too. You know, are you got stones in your head too, or you kind of smart? Because you're talking about meditation and talking about having an orgasm. You know, it's like she's definitely very present. Shout out to her.
Into that. And the whole technique of Vipassana is that you observe the sensations in your body and you scan your body from head to toe. And the emphasis is not having thoughts, but rather just observing all the sensations in your body. And you go part by part, piece by piece. And again, the emphasis is on the sensations in your body.
You know, we would do a little bit of breath work. I wasn't into tantra. I don't really know. I mean, I know what that is, but I've never been that kind of sex person. That's never really been my thing. But I know about it. But no, it wasn't tantra. It was more about being in the present moment. It was, which I guess is tantra, but it's about being in your body, being with the person that you're with, having the experience that you're having, whether it's awkward, whether it's hot, whether it's so-so, whatever. It's like you're just there when you're available for it. That's what we were doing in sexual situations. And I know a lot of people don't have that experience. It was perfect for me because I wasn't emotionally invested in these relationships that I was having with my clients. So I could be almost this impartial person there, right? I was there, I was available sexually, I was available a tiny bit emotionally, but I was definitely there intellectually for them too. And so it was easy for me to kind of stand back and study this and see them as not as this man that I was in love with and had all this judgment about and needed him to be a certain way. I could set that aside and just observe him as a man, observe him as this beautiful spiritual being, and have this experience with him and have some pretty, actually, very connected sex. Whatever you want to think about that. I know those of you who have seen sex workers, have experience with escorts, you know what I'm talking about. These experiences that you have with this person who is a quote-unquote stranger can be transcendent.
Having starfish sex is concerning. But you know what's even more concerning? Not having health insurance. And that's why today's video is sponsored by Ishmael Stonewall, who sells health insurance. Take it away, Ish.
Yeah, so thanks, Shape. So as we know, a lot of people are looking for health insurance right now. It's open enrollment. I offer free consultations to my clients. We work with small businesses, families, and individuals to find their best health insurance options. Now, we work with all major carriers, Aetna, Blue Cross, Cigna, and United, on their public and private networks. Typically, we save our clients about 20% on their premiums, and we get them PPO networks, which means nationwide coverage. So if anyone listening here could benefit from a consultation, maybe save some money on your insurance or find something better, hit me up, give me a call, give me a text, schedule with me, and I'll see if I can help you out. Let's go.
Yeah, so if you need health insurance or you're looking to reduce your premiums, give my buddy Ishmael a call and let him know Shape sent you. Yeah, I didn't know what she's talking about. So listen to this video. Quickly, I point out that men that do this, that hire her, that end up in her bed, they want an enthusiastic sex partner, someone that's excited to be there. We don't want a starfish. You just lay in there, like, hurry up and get it over with. Now, I've never had that experience before, but I've heard that men have this experience. The other thing is, we want someone to listen to us. So many women, I meet this, and it happens to me all the time in relationships. If I talk about my view on life. Women think they must challenge me. I don't need you to challenge me. Look, I'm down that each one teach one. I could teach you something, you could teach me something. But I think it's important to first get to understand someone, whether you agree with them or not. And I tell this to girls all the time, listen, I'm not gay, but if someone told me why they were gay, I'd listen to understand. I wouldn't be like, oh no, I wouldn't do that. I was like, okay, this is what you think, this is what you think, that's what you think, okay. And I repeat it back to them, this is what you think, right? You like guys, you like hairy chest and hairy back, okay, I understand. I don't like those things, but if someone asks me, why does he like men? I'm like, he likes hairy chest and hairy backs, right? Too many women will try to sway your position. Don't try to sway me. Understand me first, whether you agree or not. But I want you to be able to follow my pattern of thinking. And it seems like she's doing that all while giving people some bomb ass punani. Okay, she's talking about orgasm. She's probably splashing on these dudes, right? Squirt, squirt. Like, come on now. It's impressive. And she has a good attitude. Bravo.
Because there's not all the expectation, all those crazy emotions and judgments and, all those things that we put on the people that we love.
I know at the same time that emotional connection that I was not experiencing is what can also make sex really great, right? It can make it terrible or it can make it really great. After a little bit of time, I learned how to take all those embodiment techniques that I learned in meditation, my being present, and I'm always talking to y'all about being in the present moment and all the being in your body stuff that I talk about all the time. I took that from meditation into escorting. And when I did that, I guess I had been escorting like for 2 or 3 months, something like that.
I, at first, just like every other person who is voluntarily a sex worker, I, like everybody else, you get such a thrill and such a charge about the money, how easy it is, how nice the clients are, just how it's like, oh my God, I can just be myself and make money. And
I could be a thought and make money? Of course you can, girl. It's 2024. What you thought? IG models are taking off. They're having careers. It's just so funny that, like, a lot of women say love don't cost a thing. But she was bought. She was bought, and she was able to disconnect. She said she's in her body, right? But she was able to disconnect her morality from sex and actually enjoy it and love the money and the lifestyle that came with it. That's impressive. I'm impressed. I want to interview her. Like, what made you want to do this? Because you seem like you could have been a great wife. Do you really need to be ran through by a bunch of men? I'm just saying. I think it's a free country. If it's legal for you to be a sex worker, go ahead and be a sex worker. And you know, a lot of men, we don't pay for the punani. We pay so you can leave, right? It's definitely cost effective. I heard men talking about when they pay for these high-end escorts. But I hope she explains why she got into it, because that's what I'm curious about at this point now.
get a big charge out of that. And then, once the excitement, and, of course, in the beginning, there's a little bit of terror involved there too, and a lot of adrenaline. And once you kind of get used to all of that and how bizarre what you're doing actually is, then you start to think, oh God, what am I doing? How can I do this? Why am I doing this? What kind of person am I? This sucks. This is horrible. And then if you decide to stick with it, then you move through that into the other side of that. This was like 3 months in, because I had seen this guy a couple of times and he was super boring. And so when and he was one of these long appointments, and not long appointments because he wanted to do it a long time, but because he wanted to sit there and talk and talk and talk. And it was always like all this really negative stuff. And he was just a super boring guy. And he was nice, but he was boring. And he was boring because he was negative, and he was boring because he wasn't present. He was just talking at me. And so I would be very checked out Even during the conversation, I would try to latch onto something I thought was interesting and kind of like go, oh, hey, let's talk about this. But he would always bring it right back around to something horrible that had happened to him. And I don't know, guys, if y'all don't know this, women are not turned on by negative stories and negativity and by your being a sad sack and feeling sorry for yourself. It's a big turn off.
Oh, hold it right there. Men, take note of this. And this is why I tell you, sell women a dream. Too many of y'all trying to sell them a nightmare. Oh, this is going bad. This is going wrong. Everyone's an idiot. This kind of nihilistic view on life. No, it's, bro, what is she supposed to do with that? Women can take what you give to them and multiply it. So you give them a bunch of negative stuff, they can multiply that. So yeah, shout out to Corey Wayne, because he always talks about this all the time. The 3 H's, hook up, hang out, have fun, right? That's what the goal is. So, and listen, don't complain about your life when you're on a date with a girl. It's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be excitement. Even a sex worker don't want to hear it. Even though you paying her to be around, and she'll stay around. Even she's bored by your negative conversation. So, take note.
When the time came for us to go into the bedroom, I would basically leave my body. And so this one time, I caught myself. I was like, where am I going? If I'm not here in my body, where am I? And why am I leaving my body behind with this stranger? It terrified me and it grossed me out. And so as soon as I had that sensation of, oh my God, I'm in my head, I'm not in my body, I just went, boom, right into my body. And we had what I would classify as decent, connected sex. It wasn't great, but I was there in my body and I was able to be with him from one human being to another instead of treating him like some kind of asshole that didn't deserve my time. I was like, wow, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be here and I'm going to be in the present moment. I'm going to be with this guy. That changed my life. And then that is why I'm able to speak with a lot of authority about, hey, y'all, get out of your head and into your body. And that's how I was able to teach women about being orgasmic, becoming orgasmic by getting out of your head and being in your body. And you guys, that's the same thing. Men who are in their heads either cannot even get an erection. If you can, then you have a hard time maintaining it. And then you have no control over it. And then you think that you're going to make it up by doing other activities. And yeah, that works for a while, but then a woman does definitely get bored with that because she wants to be penetrated by you. Unless you are in your body, that can't happen. So there's a lot of benefits to being in your body, right? And just beyond sexual, also just makes you a better partner, makes you a better person. Being in your body makes you, being in your body makes you a better father, a better brother, a better citizen of this planet. Anything that deals with other people where they count on your presence, you will become a master at that. Yes, nice guys saw sex workers. Some of them were married and they weren't getting what they wanted at home, and they lacked the communication skills to talk to their wives and to express their needs to their wives. Once I got comfortable with escorting and I was kind of seeing the same guys over and over and over again, we established a relationship, a friendship. And so I would ask them, hey, why are you here with me instead of at home with your wife? Like, what is going on? They would tell me that it was because their wives had lost interest in them for various reasons. And I always thought what everybody else thought, that, oh, well, men cheat because they get bored, they want variety, and they want to have sex with a willing woman who's not their wife. And sure, that's an element of it, but it wasn't enough of a drive, right? Their desire to have sexual variety was not the driver. That was not the reason why they were contacting sex workers.
Very fascinating stuff. My thoughts are that if you talk to 10 ex-workers, they're going to give you all 10 different reasons, But interesting enough for her high-end clients liked an enthusiastic partner that listened. Not bad. That's what we want at home, too. I want to comment on her outer body experience. I thought it was kind of interesting here talking about it. It made me think about times where I wasn't present in the bedroom with a girl, right? I would have a girl, we're hooking up, and it's almost like it's like a pinch me. I would think the girl, and this happened with sometimes with some very attractive girls. I'd be thinking in my mind like, yo, she's so hot, but I can't even focus, right? I'm thinking about the most dumbest stuff, right? I'm thinking about like, you know, childhood. I'm thinking about like being late to work, like in my mind, I'm thinking about my grandma, like the weirdest stuff just popping in my head, like, bro, out of all the times, why am I thinking about my grandma? You know what I'm saying? It's like awful, and trust me, that sounds horrible, but I would think about stuff that would disconnect me from what's going on, right? That's the whole point. It was like I was there physically, but my mind was thinking about like random stuff, you know, in my subconscious. And I would also I'd also realize that if I'm like watching corn, right? If I'm on Cornhub, I'm present. I'm there. Even though I'm not even in the video, right? I'm present. Like I'm in my body, in my mind, present, and I could have pleasurable experience. What I realized was, you got to get comfortable with the person to be present. So finding that comfortability with a woman is not just for, you know, finding that comfortability in a partner is not just for women, it's for men too. You know, like that's why a lot of times the first hookup with a girl wouldn't be the best. It would be kind of odd. It wouldn't be, for some girls it would be amazing, I won't lie. But in some girls it would be like, we got to figure each other out. We're still getting used to each other's body. You know, this is like a dance that we never done before, so we're figuring it out. And over time we'll get better at it. I'll get more, and then I started getting more present at it. And then I could really start enjoying, when I really got in my body like she described, that's when I really started enjoying my sex life, right? Because I wouldn't be thinking about random stuff, right? A car accident, or you know what I'm saying, or like purchasing a car I really want. I could be, right? I'm clapping cheeks, I'm beating cheeks, and I'm present, right? And no rush or anything. So good point there. Anyway, I don't know. What do you guys think about this, right? Would you hire an ex-worker? No judgment. No judgment. Listen, I think we all pay for punani one way or another. You know, I went on a date. I remember this one girl I dated earlier this year for 2 months. The first month we were dating, I spent over $800 on her in dates. I thought to myself, you know, when I meet a girl now, I'm just going to ask her for a bill. Like, give me your phone bill, you know, your car insurance, car note. Give me one of them, I'll pay them. Because it'll be a lot less expensive to just pay that and deal with you rather than take you out on a bunch of dates, you know, making the restaurants rich. Anyway, yeah, tell me what you think about the video in the comments. I was going to read the comments, but you know what? How about you read the comments? I'll leave a link to this video in the description, as well as a link to her channel, Sex, Love, and Soul. Definitely agree with the title. And check out some other videos, and I'll see you over there.